I'm a big fan of aliens, especially little gray, big-eyed, creepy-looking aliens. And going into this, I didn't really know anything about the Greyhill Incident. I didn't watch any reviews because, yes, the game came out a few days ago for PC, but it comes out today for PS5. I like horror games, I like aliens, so of course I was going to check this game out. And it couldn't have been released at a better time, because if you're not paying attention to the news...
So there's two people or two subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us.
Non-human, exotic origin, vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah. When you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots.
But anyway, Greyhill Incident just came out today. I played it for a few hours. I'm going to give you my first overall impressions of this game. But before I do that, you should consider subscribing. I talk about horror games all the time on this page. I just released an Amnesia the Bunker review. And next week, I'm going to have a review for another Alien game, Aliens Dark Descent. I can't wait for that. And I also have videos for Resident Evil 4 Remake, Dead Space Remake, Callisto Protocol, Redfall, etc. But I also do TV show discussions, trailer reactions, movie discussions, that sort of thing. But anyway... let's get into the Greyhill Incident. So I'm going to start with the positives first. Once again, I am a big fan of alien invasion stories, just aliens in general, and the themes and the tone and the atmosphere that usually accompanies alien projects. And this game actually does a decent job of having a cool alien invasion in a small American town atmosphere. And it was probably my favorite part of this game. Seeing cows mutilated, seeing UFOs in the sky beaming lights down and abducting people, seeing little gray aliens wandering around normal looking homes. It's creepy and I enjoyed it. And it's also an added bonus for me personally that they clearly took a lot of inspiration from the movie Signs, which is without a doubt one of my favorite films of all time. From there being a lot of cornfields to the way that the main character uses the flashlight, he like turns the crank. Same thing Mel Gibson used in Signs. The little snippet of soundtrack you get in the beginning of this game sounded very similar to the Signs soundtrack, and the way that the aliens even sounded, their voice, the way they communicated with each other. It literally just sounds like they said, hey, you know what they did with the aliens in Signs? Let's do exactly that in this game. Besides the actual design of the aliens, obviously. And now, is it creative? Is it unique? No, it just feels like they ripped off Signs in a lot of ways, but again, I'm a huge fan, so. But honestly, unfortunately, that's about where my positives end, because this game is so simplistic and so short that the $35 price tag on the PlayStation Store is just insulting to me. This game only costs $25 on Steam, and I saw that a few days ago, and that's how much I was expecting to pay for it here. Why it's $10 more on PlayStation Store, I really don't know. There might be some internal reason. Maybe PlayStation takes a bigger cut of sales than Steam does, so they upcharged. I have no idea. But regardless, this game is not worth $35. If I paid $25 for this game, I'd be a lot more satisfied. But honestly, if you asked me how much this game should be worth, I personally wouldn't recommend you pay any more than $15, $20 max, and that's if you're a huge Alien fan. But the gist of this game is you doing very minimal tasks as you're walking around in a very linear path around this very small neighborhood block. And there's aliens around and you're trying to stealth your way past them or shoot them if you have enough bullets. Or you can use your baseball bat to knock them down, but then they kind of get up immediately and just beeline it to you, and there's really no means of escape. There's trash cans that you can hide in, there's outhouses you can hide under beds and in bureaus, and most of the time that you can hide in them undetected, there's not really an alien nearby, so I never found myself actually utilizing those. And whenever there was an alien nearby and I tried to hide in one, even if it was on the ground facing away from me, it just stood up, beelined it to where I was hiding, opened it, and attacked me. And the way that these aliens attack you is so laughably dumb. They just beeline it to you and they grab you and you just mash on R2 to try and get free, and then they beeline it 10 feet to you again and just grab you. And if they grab you long enough or you didn't bash R2 fast enough, it just cuts to a black screen and it just says abducted. So I'm assuming they just kind of grab you and you dissolve in their hands, and that's a form of abduction, I guess. Even though in the beginning of the game you actually see someone, your son, actually get sucked into a beam of light, so they do abduct people that way, just not for you, the player, which is really weird. And like I mentioned earlier, I didn't beat this game, full disclosure, but I am very close to beating it. I've played it for about 2 hours, and I have almost 100% of trophies already, so that should tell you how short this game actually is. Amnesia the Bunker was also really, really short. The average person could probably beat that game in around 4 hours, but that game felt much better in its structure and its gameplay, and it was also $10 less than this game was on the PlayStation Store. So I lied. I do actually have another positive, but this is probably a me thing, and I did find this game kind of creepy for the most part. Walking around this desolate rural American town with your flashlight, seeing UFOs in the sky, wondering when an alien was going to turn the corner, when you were going to open a door and there was going to be an alien there, whenever you were going to be in a house looking for some objective item, and then you hear the door open and suddenly there's a little gray alien beelining it to you. It's freaky, but I will say that I get scared by most horror games. That's why I love them. I love horror. It's my favorite genre ever, but I don't get scared by horror movies anymore, ever. That's why I love horror games, because it's the only time that I actually feel fear with some form of horror media. So I don't think the average person is going to be scared by this game, but if you're like me and you find yourself being scared more often than not when playing a horror game, I do think this game could freak you out enough to warrant you checking it out also. There are some bugs and glitches I noticed in this game, nothing game breaking. It did for the most part run pretty smoothly on the PlayStation 5, so I am happy about that. But there was a moment where I shot several bullets into aliens and it did not connect. It did not acknowledge that I hit them when I very clearly did. At least I'm 99% sure I should have. And that was stressful, especially since ammo is super limited in this game and it's the only way that you can actually kill the aliens. Your baseball bat doesn't kill them. And also there were moments where a character would be saying some dialogue and then their mouth would just not be lined up with what they were saying, or their mouth wouldn't be moving at all. Just, you know, minor stuff like that. Nothing game breaking though. Except for that bullet incident was kind of game breaking because bullets are super limited and there was probably no way I would have gotten through that section of the game with the bullets I just wasted, so I let the aliens kill me and then I restarted, but it wasn't the end of the world. So to summarize my thoughts kind of briefly here at the end, the $35 price tag on the PlayStation Store is borderline insulting in my opinion. If you're a PC gamer, $25 on Steam is more reasonable. I can recommend it for around that price for the most part. But again, I can only recommend this game to a very certain type of player. One being just a huge fan of alien shit, anything involving aliens. If you're a huge fan of just alien media, you'll probably enjoy this game and find your money's worth in it. Or if you're just a big fan of horror games and you find yourself playing pretty much any horror game that comes out, there are a lot worse games than this. And if the price tag doesn't matter much to you, then yeah, you'll probably enjoy this game. You can spend an afternoon or an evening playing it. But besides that, when this game is on sale, which it probably inevitably will be one of those games that's on sale whenever there's a major sale. Next time PlayStation has one of their huge discounted sales, I can see this game being $9.99, $7.99. Give it a year or two, it'll probably be $3.99 on sale. Anyway, that's it. There's my thoughts on Greyhill Incident. Have you played this game? If so, do you agree with my thoughts or do you have a completely different opinion? Let me know in the comments. And once again, consider subscribing. I talk about survival horror games all the time on this page, but I also do TV show discussions, trailer reactions, movie discussions, that sort of thing. Thank you for watching, especially if you watched this far.